Welcome in, everybody. You already know what it is. Saturday morning, 10:30, paid for play, coming at you live. We got the six-pack of games that we're covering, and then we go through our full betting card of the week. We got another full house here. Your five co-hosts that run paid for play. You already know what it is with JD, Goose, Sam, and Roddy. We already know you're following all of them on their Twitters, but if not, hit them up so you can roast them. If their plays don't go too hot, congratulate them when they go well. That latter part usually doesn't happen, but we're live on Twitter and we're live on YouTube. So in the Twitter, you got the link up in the title if you want to hop on over to the chat to drop your best plays, drop whatever you want to be dropping. If you're an alum, if you got a lock of the day, it's all to beat the book together, powered by Daily Bread Media. Make sure to be following them. You already probably are. That's where we're live on YouTube. But we appreciate everyone tapping in with us bright and early. If you're on the West Coast, on the East Coast, it's a good time. Mute game day. They suck. I mean, you ain't going to get much from them. You get all the good shit here, and you got all the good shit Thursday night if you're into DFS with JD. But JD, how you doing today? Feeling good about that lineup?
I'm feeling great about the lineup. I woke up at 2:15 a.m. this morning to help set lineups. I didn't want to wake up at 2:15. I'm not that much of a psycho, but I did, and I couldn't fall asleep. So I'm ready to go. 16-8 on best bets on the show. I'm off to a hot start. I'm ready to keep rolling, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, follow JD and none of us else. We've been on a slow start, but we back, baby. It's week 3. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could say something philosophical about the number 3, but I can't. But it's week 3, baby. Let's go.
Goose, I know you almost had a heart attack when you saw the shirt that I'm wearing. Don't worry. I'm not advising or have a temple bet whatsoever. It was just too good of an opportunity not to.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my lovely fiance. It's her birthday today. So I'm actually not watching any college football probably, but I mean, cap and don't sleep. I capped all week. I'm ready for the show. After the show, it's lights out. I'm turning up. Probably got to watch something else, but Rutgers going to take the dub, and I'm trying to make money to pay for the drinks tonight.
No better way to put it than Sam. You're all decked out. You got your home dogs. One of the 6 games we're covering. I tweeted out the 6-pack that we're doing at Paid for Play. But how you feeling? Vibes good still so far. I don't know about later though.
I don't know what to expect really. It's nice to have you back, Rex. I mean, we missed you last week. It was nice little.
We slept through the episode last week. If we're gonna be honest.
It's all good. Vegas Rex couldn't hang like Roddy could. It's all good. We understand. But yeah, vibes are good right now. I'm not sure how they'll be later. This is the first time I think of my lifetime. I can't imagine any other time LSU's been a home dog to Mississippi State. Even the DAC year, I think they had they caught them, like the LSU game was what kind of pushed them up into the upper echelon and that rise up to number 1. But yeah, 2 very different games versus Mississippi State as LSU has played them under Mike Leach. So I don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yes, sir. As usual, make sure to hit us with that like, retweet, follow, subscribe. Helps us get out in the audience. I'll be starting up all the bets that you're dropping because at the end, when we run through ours, we'll flash the chats as well. And then drop any games if you have any thoughts on it. We'll probably have most covered through our best bets unless you're asking us to talk Army Villanova. I don't think we have one, but sneaky good game because Army should run all over them and get the first cover of the season for them. But 6-pack, let's start it off hot. We're going to start it off with the number 1 team. New number 1 team. I guess that's the only way to go. And then Roddy, since you can handle Vegas, I clearly can't. I was in the book before kickoff for the Texas game, but let's hear it. Rattler's probably going to get rattled.
Yeah, for sure. So Georgia is going into a place that they call the cockpit. Just going to let that marinate for a little bit. The cockpit? Okay. But look, man, opening conference play, I used to be really scared to go to Columbia. I'm gonna be honest. Like back in like late 2000s, you know what I'm saying, early 2000s, Marcus Lattimore days, you know, old ball coach days. I was really scared to go into Columbia, you know. But I don't feel that way this week. I mean, look, they didn't look awful against Arkansas. I thought they should have played better, South Carolina. You know, obviously a lot of the points that they did have were like garbage points at the end of the game. So I'll be interested to see how much Shane Beamer puts into Spencer and trusts him to, you know, not only you know, throw the ball, but I think he might be a little mobile today. I wouldn't be surprised at it. So obviously, you know what side I stand on the game. I'll probably not be betting it, even though I do like the spread. I just think this is one of those, you know, first conference game. I want to see, you know, how we handle it. And yeah, I think it'll be a victory. I mean, of course, you didn't have to say the new number one team in the nation, by the way. We knew they were the number one team in the nation like 3 weeks ago, but you know, we let Alabama do their thing, you know, children of the poor. But yeah, I'm biased. Y'all go ahead.
I was about to say, I hope you come out with the dub because you got the South Carolina team total in the first half sitting at 6.5, and you can get plus money on that under. Kind of seems like a gentleman's game, handshake game. Georgia gets in, gets out, gets to determine how much damage they do, how much they allow. But Goose, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Roddy's not sounding too confident. He's not betting it.
Please.
I really wanted to take the Georgia first half, but it's at minus 14.5 now. That killed me. I should have got it earlier in the week. It was at 14 at most spots. I would have taken the push if need be. Because, I mean, Rattler's a walking turnover, man. This Georgia team might embarrass them, but I'd only want to bet the first half because even though the Georgia backups are still amazing, I expect like a fourth quarter where all the starters are pulled, but that's just me. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only angle is to either take the team total under first half that Rex was talking about because Georgia's defense is the truth. Spencer Rattler's a turnover, but I'm laying it off as well.
Fellow SEC Sam, what you got for this one?
Yeah, I was smart on that Goose, and I took Georgia minus 14 earlier in the week, first half, and got the even minus 24 for the full game as well. Georgia hasn't really given too many backdoor covers away over the last year and a half, I feel like. They've been great in the first half. This game kind of feels like the Arkansas-Georgia game from last year, where I don't know if there's a little extra buzz for some reason around South Carolina. I know like Spencer Rattler's in there and everything, but they just haven't been good on defense. They lost two of their best players. I just think Georgia's going to dominate this game, get in, get out. I mean, like 35-0, 35-3, something like that. But yeah, Georgia's just too good. I have a soft spot in my heart for them right now. They're the team that has dethroned Alabama, and they're keeping it that way. So if it's not going to be LSU, I'll take Georgia. Absolutely, I'll cheer them on. So, Roddy, we're riding together this year as long as they stay on top. Anybody but Bama. So
let's ride.
JD, wrap this one up for us.
I felt like I had a good peg on South Carolina last week. I thought Arkansas was going to kind of do whatever they wanted to do to them, and they did. So Georgia's going to do the same thing. It's just whether or not it's a backdoor cover because South Carolina does have some pretty good receiving talent. One of them could break a long run once this game's out of reach. So I think Sam had the best way to play it. I like Sam's play in the first half.
It's just a tough one just because we got the comments, the BYOC. That was a pretty good one. I mean, we chuckles. Shout out to Chad for so far comment of the day. And then we'll get into the two games of the day, and then we'll have a slight break, I guess, between the two to bring in the State of the Union for a certain squad. But let's get to BYU at Oregon. This is where I got my first play of the day. I'm taking the under 58 at minus 110 here. I mean, I'm not going to trust Bo Nix. You can playing the coin flip game with the BYU wide receivers, I don't really think it matters here. Both of these defenses, I think, are just way more elite than the offenses. I expect a gross and terrible game. You can flip over to the next game we're going to be talking about next, but I think this is a simple, clean under 58 minus 110. JD, Pac-12, you got Oregon, got your BYU guys. What you like here?
I like BYU, and I like BYU money line. Oregon fan here. They're just not very good. I don't really understand why people expect this team to be good this year. It's a bad spot for BYU, and that's the only way you can play Oregon here. But BYU, I think what people need to understand about BYU, first off, is that people don't have good power ratings on BYU. They're always better than people think they are. So they're an undervalued team. Second off, the team schedules differently. It's not like an SEC team or Auburn that plays their first 5 games at home. Oh my God, they have to travel to Eugene. It's BYU. This team plays in different time zones. They play different conferences. They play difficult games anywhere, anytime, right? There's a reason they said that, and people wanted to make fun of them. It's totally true. They have a totally different, unique schedule, and they handle it extremely well. I think they've won 22 of their last 26 games. This team doesn't get enough credit. I doubted their defense last week. I was on Baylor, and their defense looks great. They returned all 11 starters. I think they took a big step forward. I like their quarterback. You mentioned the wide receivers. It doesn't matter much to me. I think they're the better team. It's a difficult spot for them. Is the worry. So if you're going with the plus 3.5, you still get 3 points. And what I think is going to be a close game. And I think both teams will try to establish the line of scrimmage. That's what they want to do offensively. So I like your under bet as well.
Roddy, what do you got for us here?
Yeah, I'm with JD. I really think BYU doesn't get a lot of credit for being one of those solid programs. I mean, over the past 10 years, they've been very solid. I have no real analysis for this game, of course, because watching Oregon in that first matchup against us, it was so lopsided that I can't really gauge.
You just got to throw that out the window.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna, make any declarative statements about Oregon at all. But I do trust in BYU a little bit more. So yeah, I'm rocking with the money line too, man. I don't have no arguments there.
Oh, a lot of Mormon love so far early.
Our squad, baby. Let's go.
Sam, you riding with the Ducks or what you got here?
No, I can't trust Bo Nix. JD's talked me into BYU moneyline play. Also, he threw that out there way too early in the week for me to ignore it. So I have a BYU moneyline play, but I'm not going to tout that like it's my own play. I'm just following JD. He's been good this year. So, but here's where the letdown spot. It doesn't seem like it's as much of a factor because what last week's win did was set BYU up for a potential playoff push. Like they play Oregon at Oregon, they play Arkansas, they play Notre Dame. If they win all these games, they're a playoff contender. So I think the season is now shifted its focus to, hey, let's have a 10-win year to let's make a playoff push. And if they play as well as they did last week, I don't know anything. We haven't learned anything from Oregon's 2 games. Georgia was just too good for them in last week's game. It was against a cupcake. I don't even remember who it was, but
Samford.
So not enough to learn anything, but yeah, I'm going to rock with the more battle-tested team here.
Goose, are you drinking that Mormon wine as well?
I think so, but I wanted to target the under.
Yes, let's go.
I think Oregon has a good defense. They looked horrible against Georgia, but that's Georgia. That's a different beast. Like I'm really not going to look at one thing from that game, and they gave it to them. So I like Oregon's defense. I think they can stop the run. They're pretty physical with their linebackers. They fly all over. And then BYU's defense. Someone said it. They return 11 starters. They're looking good. Baylor ran for 152 yards on 52 carries. Like, BYU is going to slow down the run, and now we got to trust Bo Nix to make plays. That's the way to beat BYU is to air it out a little, and I just don't trust Bo Nix. And then you got the BYU 2 receivers. I don't know if they're playing or not, but they're banged up. Regardless if they're playing, they're going to be slowed down. So, yeah, I feel like this total, I don't know, it feels like it should be 50 instead of 58. It makes me think Vegas knows something, like I'm being tricked, but give me the under on this one. I think nice 12:30 game. It'll be a little low energy. If it was a night game, maybe the over, but it's a 12:30 game in Oregon. So,
Yep. And then, look for the status for the wide receivers. That could affect the line at this point, but they've shown lesser talent. It hasn't mattered to them so far against Baylor. I mean, when you get into a rock fight and get to the end of the game like that, full health, probably a different story. But we had a emergency call come in earlier today. I just got to go to a different banner. Sosa wanted to make an appearance because he felt like gracing us with it. He wants to talk. We probably are just going to have to listen as usual. So let's bring him in.
Where did he come from?
Good. Keep talking on mute. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful production.
Got
video.
him.
Unmute yourself, jackass.
Oh shit! Hello everyone. How are things? I love what you guys are doing with the show. JD, Goose, Roddy, Sam. Nice hat, Sam. I like that. Shout out to the snowman. He not gonna cover tomorrow. But listen, I'm going to be very, very short and quick with my time here. I know you guys got a lot of important stuff to handle. As the most melanated of all Notre Dame fans, I feel as though I'm compelled to just come on here and just say, take it back a little bit. Losing to Marshall was bad. I know JD can relate. Like it was some heartbreaking shit. Buckner really sucked a bag of dicks. Like he was terrible, man. And I don't really feel bad that he's hurt because that was probably the best thing that could have happened to our offense at this particular juncture because he's a 2-pack of absolute mushy dog shit that should have never been starting at Notre Dame. I like Tommy Reese, but he's not a fucking miracle worker. You know what I mean? Like you can't have Bobby Boucher out there playing quarterback. The defense, I think, is just fine, but when they're on the field forever, there's nothing you're going to be able to do.
Oh, come on, it's not working. There it is.
What are you going to do? I just want to say, listen, if you're part of the Notre Dame faithful and just chill out. All right. I want to say relax, but Aaron Rodgers is going to do that after he loses tomorrow to the Bears. So I got to be at least original. So yeah, for me, oh, look at this guy. Who's this muncher? But yeah, sorry to like I said, I'm not worried about our game. I'm not worried about any of that shit. The season's over. I'm looking at I'm big into recruiting, so I'm really just tuning into JD telling me about players whose names I have no idea about that are going to make a difference and will save the program next year. But the season's over. Just like the Cowboys, just like the Dallas Cowboys season ended on Sunday. Our season's over. Best of luck to everyone else. But with that being said, yeah, thank you for your time. Love Paid for Play. I tune in every Saturday. I never got into DFS until JD started giving me free money last year, so it's going well. And yeah, thank you guys. The show's great. I'm a fan. I'll holler at y'all later.
Do you miss Brian Kelly yet?
Man, shut the fuck up. Y'all you were scared after week 1. Oh my God, we lost. Cut it out, man.
I never expected them to go 12-0 or anything. Is he from
Massachusetts or Mississippi? Where does he want to be from? The man put on a fake Southern accent. I'm glad he's not my
LA.
I don't understand why he would do it for one word.
Who does that?
That wasn't a Southern accent. He fucked up one word.
I don't
know. Why would he do it for one word?
Nothing like that.
But why would he do it for only one word and not the entire speech?
Do I miss Brian Kelly? Do I miss my ex-girlfriend? No. She's ugly and fat now. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Peace.
Not losing to Marshall, that's for sure.
I was about to say.
Always throwing shots right before you're about to drop me from the video. He's not going to drop me from the video so you can get the last word.
There you go. If Cal goes over 16 today, then the Irish might be in big trouble. That's the only way I can say they should be scared if this Cal goes over 16 points. That's their full game total. But one of the games of the year last year going to be another solid one this year. hopefully. Clifford had the best game of his probably entire career against Auburn. So you can say he's shown up at big moments because he's shown up maybe in 2 games because that's all the big moments Penn State has had in his 6 years there. But he just ain't right. It's really as simple as it is. They're calling for the backup to come in. I mean, promising. Going down to the stadium to put him for the first game, I don't think that's the way you get him started for a solid career. Franklin's got to be looking for what he's got to do. I think the switch may come later on at some point. I don't think it happens in this game. 2.5, 3, depending with your book. You can find different lines. Total sitting at 47.5. I haven't locked in the under officially here yet because that just seems too easy because regardless of what I've just trashed on the Penn State's offense, Auburn's team's total sitting at 23. I don't think they put up 4 touchdowns today by any means. I think this could be gross either way. Sam, since you're still riled up, let's ride that energy. I know you love Auburn. Let's hear it.
I don't get what they're doing at Auburn. It just makes no sense. I don't know if I've seen anything that makes me want to back them. I know the whole crazy shit happens at Jordan-Hare, but I mean, Penn State's already gone on the road once this year and had a good win. I'm not comparing West Lafayette home environment to an SEC home environment. And one of the better ones, but I just don't trust Auburn at all. I don't think their quarterback's very good. I mean, whoever goes out there, I guess it's TJ Finley still, but I just haven't seen enough to want to back them. And Auburn and Penn State's been more battle tested. Even if Clifford goes down with an injury, we've seen Aller come in and play really well on the road. So yeah, I got a Penn State -3.5 or -3 play. So nice even number. I don't know if I would have taken it at the hook, but if I can get a push or something out of that, I like it. I just think Penn State has the more tested roster right now. And Auburn, I feel like Auburn's one big loss away from just quitting on this season. So, I mean, if they lose this game, I think it could start getting ugly for them.
Well, we did see Auburn try to get a little creative with their offense last week. Threw in a little wrinkles. See JD laughing because they were very successful, but hey, it's the thought that matters. But JD, let's go to you. Then we'll go to Goose and Roddy to wrap this one up.
I have a bet on Penn State for a similar number. I believe it was just under 3. From way back in the summer, my opinions haven't changed very much. I guess I cooled on that a little bit just because it is such a big game from Auburn, and again, they don't play on the road for the first 5 games of the year. So I think we're going to get both teams' best efforts. I thought Sam brought up a great point. Penn State did begin the season on the road at Purdue, so they're already tested. I just really like this Penn State team, and I think they should have them covered. It's a very tough spot going in for a very, very, very motivated Auburn team. I think if I had to play something this morning, I would agree with your under. From the minute Harsin was hired, I've been on record just saying I don't know why they hired him. I don't know what they are doing. And then, like Sam said, all this time later, we still don't know what they're doing, except we know it's a house of cards and it will fall eventually. Whether or not it falls today, I don't know, but it's going to come eventually, and praying on their downfall.
Big Ten Goose. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. Big Ten Goose, but I don't think this Penn State is built like a Big Ten team this year. They got a great secondary, but their D-line, I don't think it's that good this year. They lost a lot of talent. Their O-line, pretty weak. I think just Auburn being a normal SEC team, they're going to be able to run the ball all over them. They're going to be able to stop the run. And I don't trust Clifford throwing well again against Auburn. I think I'm taking Auburn money line. Yeah, I just think this Penn State team is almost built like an American team. They got a great secondary. They got great receivers. But their lines, big men win football games. It's all about the offensive line and defensive line. So give me Auburn.
Goose, I love you saying that with the positive vibes only shirt on. I mean, I think maybe those shots were a little bit too far, but I 100% see where you're coming before the season. I mean, I was hyping them the first week of or week 0 where it was a prove it their year. They brought a lot back, and I think they had a lot there, and it just hasn't shown up. Maybe it takes a little bit for them to get going. Roddy, I guess you have to break the tie because I can't pick a winner in this one. But what do you like here?
Well, I'm in agreement with JD and Sam. Whenever your fan base is calling for the coach's job in year 1, that is not good. Look, last year I really felt like Auburn should have won that game. Like if Bo Nix wasn't just awful, I think they would have won that game, to be honest with you. And I guess I'll drop the stat of the day for everybody today. Auburn is 46-1 in non-conference home games. 46-1. Okay. 17-game home streak in non-conference games currently. So, of course, trends end. We know that always, but I think they can run the ball in the trenches. I agree with Goose. I think that's really what they want to do. Obviously, I'm not about to sit here and say, Bo Nix was the problem last year, so TJ Finley is going to do better this year. Like, no, I'm not about to tell y'all that. I'm not about to lie to y'all. Look, I would be more inclined to take the 2.5 rather than the money line just to be a little bit safe. If you know what I'm saying, don't want to go to church tomorrow, obviously take the money line. But I buy into the home environment. I buy into, look, Auburn's got to give us something in these 3 years. This is year 3, or I guess, technically year 3 with Harsin. Like, we got to get something. So I got Auburn 2.5. I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to be able to run the ball, like I said, and I think it's going to be a close game. But if you have money on this game, please do not watch it. This will take years off of your life. I guarantee it. So, yeah, I got Auburn, man. I don't like saying I have Auburn, but I have Auburn.
Here, I have one thing just of what Goose said. Like, Penn State's secondary is legit. Yeah. It is one of the best in the country, and even if their defensive line isn't like as stout as a normal Big Ten team would be, I think they're going to be able to pack the box because Auburn's receivers are not good. Their quarterback is not mobile, and they can put 8 guys in the box and put those corners one-on-one with one safety over the top or something. But like, I just don't think Auburn's going to be able to move the ball. Like, they're going to be able to put pressure on TJ Finley. I don't trust Auburn's offensive line. I just think it, like, even though Penn State's lines may not be as good, like, they can add that extra pressure in the box with that secondary and those receivers not really being a threat.
So we got a spreadsheet.
James Franklin to make a play or make a coaching move, and I don't trust him either.
I was going to say we got spreadsheet Roddy making an appearance, dropping that 47-1 stat. I would like to know if
who the one is. I'll figure out who the one is.
No, I want to know the record against the Power 5 teams because it probably goes down to like 10-1.
They're probably playing Tennessee Tech and UT Martin and Samford. I mean, we've seen these SEC schedules. My God.
Yeah, come with me with some. No, I'm just fucking with you, Roddy.
I know one of them's Oregon. Oh wait, that was a neutral site game.
Yeah.
And then the random tangent for Harrison, the coach. He was the year that Frost got hired and Brown got hired, right? Because that was like the first COVID year and the early transfer period switch, or no? Because that was 2020. That's where all the coaches are having all those issues where you're seeing the ones get the early leash. They had the toughest situation to go into right off the bat at a new program, essentially. And yeah, leashes should be short for most of them sometimes. Hasn't showed much faith or much there, but I think the COVID year plus all the different changes and now NIL makes.
I thought for sure last year was his first year.
Oh, nah, he's been there this is about to be year 3, bro. This is the crazy, and that's the thing. Like, they've gone so unnoticed. Like, usually we have, and of course last year they took Alabama to the brink, so that was their one shining moment, I guess, for last year. But other than that, like, we haven't even really talked about them, and there's really been no reason to talk about them because there's been no talent. Usually they have like at least one defensive lineman who we look at as a draft prospect, but even that, like, it's a little thin over there, man. I don't know what's going on.
I got a question. Is the Auburn coach still with that baddie from the recruiting department?
Probably not.
Hey, look.
And that last year was his first year.
Yeah, Roddy's giving me the wrong info. But we're halfway through the show. We're at that 30-minute mark. We covered our first 3 games, and then so it's the State of the Irish. We got 3 more games coming up, then our full cards, and then JD's player props, DFS, any other stuff he wants to drop before we get into the best bets, any other tidbits that he might want to share, or where you can get all the full info at. But Sam, hot seat. I think we got to make Sam go solo here, or just make it just go completely him. But when has Brian Kelly been home dogs? I mean, you already alluded to when has LSU been home dogs to Miss State? Treacherous times, I guess, for LSU, where you saw him dancing with the recruit that didn't even end up going there. But
Sorry,
Sam,
laugh.
you're going to be grittying on the in your living room today after this game, or what? How's the vibe?
No, I don't think I'll reach the drunkenness level for me to attempt another gritty. That's happened once in my life, but yeah, that was.
Is there footage of that?
No, I made sure there was no recordings. It was bad, but yeah, I mean, the book to beat Mississippi State is drop 8. Like, just make your tackles in open space. LSU did it last year on the road. And they got the win. I don't know if I pray to God Matt House isn't as dumb as Bo Pelini and try to do straight up man the entire game against an air raid offense. But I also thought Bo Pelini wouldn't be stupid enough to do that, but he did it anyway. So it's been 2 very mixed bags of games that LSU's played against Mike Leach's Mississippi State. So, like I said in the opening, vibes aren't super high. I think this is a really good Mississippi State team that's very experienced. I don't know if you all have paid attention, but last week they played. I don't think they got home from the Arizona game until like 7 a.m. on Sunday. Like they kicked off 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. local time, played until like 2 a.m. Mississippi or in Central Time. So I don't know if that will have any effect at all, like the short week going to Death Valley. We'll see if Death Valley can return to that state where it was pre-COVID, where this is a big matchup and fans have plenty of time to tailgate. I think the home environment will actually play a factor for the first time in a couple years. But yeah, I don't have a pick in for this game. If I did, obviously it'd probably be LSU plus 2.5. But I'm not confident enough to make that an official play on this show. Just got to see what this offense is going to do because didn't really learn anything last week. First 3 quarters against Florida State, it looked pretty bad. If they can play like they did and use some tempo, I think that's the best thing to help Jaden Daniels out against this team. So, yeah, get the receivers in space. Hopefully the return of John Emery off a 15-game suspension will help the running game out a little bit. He was supposed to be the starting running back coming into the season, but haven't had him the first 2 games, obviously. So we'll see how it plays out. I think the home environment hopefully pushes us out in front, gets us a dub.
JD, where are you leaning here? Because I know where you're at with the cowbells, right? Did I guess that right?
Yeah, I'm just high on Mississippi State. The betting market has been too, though, man. So this line, like, I really wanted them to bet. I really wanted to bet them against Arizona. I almost had a stroke there. Against Arizona and Memphis, because I just thought they were clearly way better than those teams, and they were. But the lines were just like padded, it seemed like. But I think the bookmakers kind of know what's up. But do I like them enough to lay points on the road against LSU? Like, not really. So sitting back for this one.
Roddy, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I actually watched that Arizona Mississippi State game yesterday, and the play where Arizona's quarterback literally ran from sideline to sideline and threw one of the most embarrassing interceptions of all time. Like, yeah, but in that game, JD, I I was not impressed with Mississippi State at all. And again, it's the tackling, man. Like a lot of bad tackling in college football, and it's natural. I mean, they're kids, so I expected a little bit. But a lot of bad tackling in those lower level SEC schools. No bueno. I have an official play on this one. I like the over. I just, obviously it's a Mike Leach offense. Obviously they're going to do what hopefully they do what Sam said, which is drop 8 and just know that Mike Leach is going to try to make his quarterback's arm fall off every time he plays. So I think these are two teams that are offensively, they can, put some points on the board. Boutte and my guy Jaden have to they have to show me something, though. I've been very underwhelmed with them. There's been a lot of talk out of LSU, or there was a lot of talk, should I say, at the beginning of the year. So I want to see a little bit more out of the passing game this year. Emory coming back, like Sam said, is going to be good for a little bit more balance. It'll take a little bit of pressure off of Jaden. So I like the over in this one. I think both teams get out and score. It's going to be, I guess night game. I guess it's at 6, kind of awkward time, but yeah, I like the over in this one.
Yeah, I'm like JD. The 2 games with the 2.5 road dogs or the home dogs in the SEC, just gonna stay away from picking a side. I think they're both great live betting opportunities because I think you'll be able to get a solid number above +3 on both sides because I expect scoring not scoring, but I expect both teams to be leading at different points of the game. I guess the best way to put this one, and the way I've been capping it and looking at this game, is barometer test. I low-key think Michigan State sucks. I think they're going to get routed. But I don't know how much I can trust in this Washington team to pull through. They're showing the signs of life that I need to see that makes me confident that they win this game by 14. This is my one where if I would buy an alt line, I would just play Washington -6 at this point because I'm going to try to find a good number on it. But JD, let me know if I'm crazy or not with this one. But I think Washington should make this one easy and roll.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. This sets up for Washington. Michigan State's the #1 regression candidate this year. And then the whole hopes for that they wouldn't regress is that, hey, well, the defense is supposed to be solid after they had the worst secondary in the entire country last year. They had some transfers and some guys who were injured come back. And now, they're already down 2 starters again this year. So they just got the injury bug. In Washington, Kalen DeBoer, what we know about him, this guy can coach an offense. And they're going to bust the secondary up bad. So I don't hate it. The number, I don't love it. But, no, I don't think you're crazy at all.
Yeah, that's why I would buy it off, because if you're just struggling with that 3 at -110, I'll pull up the number on the 6. But Goose, I saw you shaking your head. Are you on Michigan State here? You're gonna trust Peyton Thorne? Oh,
no, I think Peyton Thorne is looking a little like Michael Penix from last year. He's just a walking turnover right now. I think he has 3 interceptions his first 2 games against 2 MAC teams. And
I'm not sure why you did it with Jake Browning either.
And I like this Washington team. I think they go and get the dub. I think today is the day that Michigan State misses Kenneth Walker. Jalen Berger is their new running back, Jersey product, shout out Jersey, but he's no Kenneth Walker. I think Michigan State isn't going to be able to move the ball that well, even though Washington doesn't have the strongest defense. I think Michigan State is a turnover machine. And I'm really high on DeBoer, just like how JD said. He coaches a good offense. He coached Penix in Indiana, I think 2019, and he's off to a great start. So, give me Washington for this game. I think it's going to be a good one, and we have a high total. I think Washington's going to bring it, and I guess I'm fading the Big Ten for the most part today. I'm not liking Michigan State. I'm not liking Penn State. I think they're both overvalued.
Roddy or Sam, who wants to go next? Doesn't matter to me.
Look, I'll be short. I'm in agreement with all of y'all. I think this game is going to show the cruelty of college football. Everybody was, praising Mel Tucker last year. Oh my God, he's gonna turn Michigan State around. They might, take over the state of no, it's not gonna happen, my boy. And yeah, going into Washington, I might give Michigan State a little bit more love if they were, at home. But nah, I'm not putting nothing on Michigan State, bro. I don't like them either.
Yeah, that Washington -6 is sitting at +120. Not giving you too much better plus money prices to go that. Sosa is on whatever. I don't know what the hell he's on this morning. Washington just played Kent State in the FCS school. So that's really the reason why I've yet to lock it in. Sam, you got anything locked in here?
I mean, I don't have an official play yet. I'll probably take Washington -3.5 just because this line has stunk to high hell all week. I think I checked before the game or before we started the stream. 80% plus on Michigan State per FanDuel for the spread bets, and it hasn't moved all week. And I think that says everything we need to know. I might even follow Rex with the -6. And there's I don't know the exact stat, but if a home team, unranked team is a home favorite against a ranked team, like they cover at a very high rate. I know that's a very good line to target. If you're looking at some big upset potential, even if it won't be a betting upset, like it would still be, I guess, technically an upset. And Chuck's in the comments. I don't know what he's smoking with calling Washington DBU, but get him off whatever he is. So that's all I got.
Yeah. Huh?
All right, let's get into the late game, the last game of the season. Sam, you said the Washington numbers stunk. I definitely agree with that. That was the fishy line. I almost want to say this one is a ratty line until Texas A&M made the QB change official. Therefore,
Dude, Max Johnson isn't good either.
No, I thought you were about to talk about your love for Max Johnson. I was gonna, default my time for you to be able to do that.
I think Mac Johnson fits Jimbo's offense better. Jimbo's offense isn't very good to begin with.
Jimbo's offense fucking sucks.
Historic, but as Sosa would say, he's a statue QB. A statue QB kind of does all right in Jimbo's run it up the middle and quick pass off.
But I don't think Max is. Max, whenever he was at LSU, he was always like, oh, he's the more athletic of the two quarterbacks between. I mean, I guess it's not saying much whenever he was being compared to TJ Finley, who is the definition of a statue in the fucking pocket. Like, but yeah, I mean, last time we saw Max Johnson, it was beating Texas A&M. I've never had faith in Max to do big things. I think this is like coming off. I think losing last week was definitely just like the best thing that could have happened to Texas A&M for this game. They got outsnapped 82-38 against App State. Like they got absolutely dominated in that game. App State was playing with them at that point. So, yeah, I don't have anything on this game. I don't like where the line is. If I had to play something, it'd be Miami +6.5. But I have no faith in A&M. You hate to see someone's record better than Jimbo's through the first 50 games, but one guy gets a $100 million extension. One guy gets fired easily after Johnny Football leaves, but we'll leave it at that. Jimbo, I don't have any faith in him right now.
Hold on. I hope that's not a real question in the chat. TVD versus Max, who do we trust more? One of them might be a first-round NFL draft pick. The other one's mid-max. Come on now.
All right. Come on. This was the hungry dog that I've been wanting to pick all week. Spoiler alert, because we're about to get into the best bets. But I just feel like they're the trendy underdog. I feel like everyone loves a Miami ticket today. But, JD, give us the X's and O's and give us if you have a play on it or anything.
I think I'm in a similar boat. We're in some similar boats here. Me and Rex are hanging out. We'll hope it's a yacht and not a getaway.
Not a
After all
thing.
these wins, it's about to be.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I had it loaded all up on my screen. Miami against the spread, Miami money line, and then I remembered one thing. It's Mario Cristobal switching on the road. I've watched a lot of Mario, and he knows how to build a program. He gets talent in there, but in-game coaching, I mean, I get not liking Jimbo. I don't like Jimbo either. I mean, my God, but I don't really see how you can trust Mario in the spot. I think they have the better quarterback. I think their defense is being a little overrated. Who knows? Maybe A&M's offense is just absolutely god-awful and it doesn't matter. But, I mean, they played Southern Miss, and they were playing like a true freshman. This kid had never seen the field. So, I can't trust him either, X. That's all the X's and O's I got. I don't like their line was terrible a year ago. Now they're playing Texas A&M. But if App State can manhandle them, if Mario can do the same thing, Josh Gaddis, OC, coming from Michigan, if they can do the same thing, they're going to do the same thing. So I would still lean on the Miami side, but nothing confident.
Goose, what do you got for us?
Yeah, if I had to pick a side, I'm picking Texas A&M. I think the quarterback switch is gonna. I get it, mid-max, but the offense has to get better. I just feel like it's just been so bad; it has to improve. And I don't like that Miami played 2 cupcake games and now is going to A&M. It's week 3; they still haven't really been tested, and now they got to go into that huge crowd of A&M, as weird as they are. I hope they did a little midnight run because
They did.
I like seeing those YouTube videos. They're pretty funny. But I really got nothing on this like capping wise except A&M has to have a fire lit under them. A little fire.
There we go, baby. That fire. It's gonna be that fire because they don't got much to fuel the fire. I'm gonna tell you that. Look, man.
On the midnight yell, they do a lot of fire.
No, look, it was so interesting watching people who live in College Station, Texas, tell people who in Boone, North Carolina, that they live in the Boonies. It was fantastic, those who have been to College Station, Texas, it just goes without saying. It's kind of like Baylor. It's the same thing. It's kind of just don't want to be there for too long. But I'm with Goose a little bit. Like the offense has to be better, right? Like. You only scored 1 touchdown at the crib? 1 offensive touchdown at the crib? For real? Like I don't know. Like I'm with Sam. Like it is mid-max. It's Brad Johnson's son. That's all we need to say. I love Texas A&M's defense though. I think they were very solid. I think they did not get a lot of help from their offense. I don't love Miami's offense, even though Tyler Van Dyke is going to be a high prospect this year. I just think this is, like Rex said, it's one of those trendy dogs, and it might be a case where Texas A&M is just like, okay, we had the time, we have a full week to reset. We're still at the crib. We can organize things. Yes, we made the quarterbacking change, so there's still, some questions about that. But if I don't have any single official play on this game at all. I don't think we all do, just, for the safety of, the show. But if I had to, I would still go with Miami with the points. I think Texas A&M is going to like squeak out a victory, but this game is going to be another one that's going to be absolutely disgusting. Like if you bet it either side on the spread, like God bless you, man. You're brave. You're truly brave.
All right. Anyone else have anything they want to get into? Because we're about to get into best bets. I almost had a CVS list of plays today because you have a lot of good storylines. I feel like every single podcast started off with the Frost and OU. Didn't even touch on that game. And a lot of other solid ones on the board. But JD, I see you shaking your head. What do you want to get into?
I forgot to make a point. Part of when I'm loading up my bet, Xavier Restrepo, they just put a huge long article on ESPN. I read it. I retweeted it right after I retweeted it. So he's Miami's leading receiver because this team loses everything receiving. Their offense looks like crap. Sosa's talking about in the chat. They could hardly score on Southern Miss in the first half. And Restrepo's going for 100 yards in the first 2 games. Like him and Tyler Van Dyke have the cutest relationship. It's hilarious. They're giving all these quotes. I can't believe I have the best quarterback in the world as my best friend. And then Restrepo's out indefinitely right after that article dropped with a foot injury. So I think the offense could be even worse. So that really cools me off the Miami side.
Goose, what do you got for us?
You talk about storylines. I'm rooting for Old Dominion today. Let me tell you, their mascot is a service dog.
Oh, I know where he's going.
Because it's a service dog and not listed as a mascot, the Old Dominion puppy can't come to the game. That's messed up. That's messed up. I hope Virginia gets beat down because it's a service puppy. You got to let him come to the game. It's football. It's a fun time. So,
Goose, yeah, I almost just chalked up that plus 260 as a hungry dog because I saw that story as well. He's not allowed on the sidelines. There he took down Va Tech this season. ODU's trying to play big time Virginia spoiler. I think he could get them 8.5. It opened at a plus 10. Do not hate that ticket at all.
The service dog, Goose.
yeah, man. I'm for the animals. I'm for the people. Goose, flock up.
We love animals over here at Pay for Play, man. Love the animals.
All right.
What's wrong with this guy?
Anything else, JD? Any your favorite player prop to target or anything like that? Or we just get into the best bets?
Yeah, let me shout out a couple. So if you want the full list, fantasy points, hit them up, fantasypoints.com. Let me give out one of my entries here. Okay. I'm going with Adrian Martinez. This is Prize Picks. Go to Prize Picks. If you're not playing, you should play. If you are playing, it's very easy. Adrian Martinez, over 13.5 fantasy points. Quarterback, Kansas State. Michael Meyer, only good player on Notre Dame, apparently. Over 12 fantasy points. They're going to lean on him here. Marcus Freeman's pissed off. He's going to feed the beast, and he's a beast, and he's going to eat. Travion Henderson, over 15.5 points. He's a future first-round draft pick, and he's playing Toledo. Zach Evans, over 18 fantasy points. He's a monster. He's playing Georgia Tech. That's a joke. Mohamed Ibrahim, over 22 fantasy points. Running back, Minnesota. He's playing Colorado. Anyone want to take a guess how many rushing yards Colorado has allowed through 2 games?
A lot.
600.
Yeah. I think it's 710 and 9 rushing touchdowns.
Jesus. I was
yeah,
kidding
that's
about
fine.
600.
Don't worry.
bad.
I'm fading them in our best bets. I got to play in that. So don't be worried, guys, if you want to get on that fade train. They're looking like Missouri's defense last year.
Swiss cheese, bro.
All right. Full card time. But like we said, fantasy points. You said our fantasy props on the hat, JD. Fantasy points to get the full list, to get everything you need. You already know he killed the Prize Picks last year. Goose, let's hear it.
So I'm on 5 plays. 2 of them we discussed. I like Auburn money line, and I like Washington minus 3.5. I'm going against 2 Big Ten teams. I think the conference is down. That's why Rutgers is going to get like 7-8 wins, but that's for later. The 3 games that we didn't talk about, I'm on Oklahoma minus 11. It's going to be a windy game in Nebraska, 15-mile-per-hour winds throughout. I like Oklahoma's run defense. If Oklahoma shuts down the run, I don't like Nebraska's pass offense. So I think Oklahoma gets a nice win today. I'm not buying into the storyline. I get it. Coach got fired. They probably should be better, but Oklahoma shuts down the run. Give me Notre Dame minus 12. They got to blow out Cal. Look, they lost to Marshall. The Sun Belt is the fun belt. It's a pretty good conference. App State just won. Georgia State? No, Georgia State.
Yeah,
played.
Georgia State covered last week.
They covered.
Or they pushed.
covered.
They pushed.
But there was another team that won. But either way, the Sun Belt is the fun belt. They lost to Marshall. It happens. They're going to blow out Cal. This defense might hold Cal to single digits. And new quarterback change for Notre Dame. I like them minus 12. And then my last game, a night game, 10:30 game, USC Fresno. The total's at like 72.5 right now. I'm only targeting the first half over 37.5 because I don't have the statistics behind this, but I feel like shootouts normally come in the first half and then it slows down a little in the second half. So give me over 37.5. The Fresno State quarterback's really legit. Hainer, I think his name is. And USC, they got the offense. They got the Oklahoma-style offense. So give me that first half over. Those are my 5 plays.
I like it, Goose. I like it. Who's next on Sam? CVS list today or nah?
No, it's not as long as my normal list of plays. Already discussed 3 of them on the show. Georgia first half, Georgia full game. Got those at nice even numbers, -14, -24 for the first half and full game. Think they roll South Carolina in the cockpit, as Roddy said. Go Penn State -3. We discussed that one as well. Just think the Penn State secondary is too good. Don't know what Auburn's offense is going to do. And then I like a couple overs. Vandy, NYU over 58.5. Don't think either defense is great. Both offenses have scored a lot of points this year. Don't know why the total is so low, but we'll bite the cheese and take the over on that one. Wake Forest, Liberty. Sam Hartman's back. Wake Forest offense is rolling. Think Liberty will be able to put up some points as well. Just think Wake Forest is an over team now that they're back at full strength. Defense just isn't very good, but their offense is going to put up a lot of points. Then Florida -24.5, coming back against a UCF team. Should roll in this one. Hope it just depends on what Anthony Richardson we're going to get. Put my faith in that after a lackluster performance last week, we're going to get a good performance out of them. And Florida's defense will probably keep South Florida from scoring too much, like Florida -24.5. And then Fresno +12.5 to close out the night. I like Hainer. I like what Fresno's done the last couple of years. I know they lost. They have a different coach now, but I still think they're going to be able to put up some points. USC's defense is not great. Their offense is really good. I think that back door is always going to be open at 12.5.
All right. Next, we got Roddy. What you got for us?
Yeah, so I had a play that was one of my official plays, but the line's at -135 now, so I wouldn't advise it. But poor ULM, man, poor ULM. They're about to go into the absolute buzzsaw that is Alabama when Nick Saban is pissed off at his players. I think there were a lot of sprints for the horns down celebrations that were, given while walking off of the field. So Alabama's team total for the first quarter is at 13.5. I took it earlier in the week. So poor ULM, man, poor ULM. But I only got 2 plays. I already gave out one, which is the over in Sam's game, LSU and Mississippi State. And then I also, I have 2 more. So I got South Carolina under 14 points. We still have not allowed a touchdown all year. I think, of course, this is going to be the best offense we've faced so far, but they play in the cockpit, man. I don't know if there's much more explanation that's needed other than playing in the cockpit. So yeah, I like their team total under 14 for South Carolina, and I also like Nebraska's team total under 27 as well. This is really just my Brent Venables love. Like, I think he's my favorite, coach in all of college football, just because I think what he did at Clemson is not talked about enough. Like, I really think Dabo still owes that man some money. So I fully believe I'm with Goose too. I think they're going to cover the 11. It's at 10.5 now. So if you guys want to get that, y'all can. But yeah, no belief in Nebraska, man. I mean, I like the way they passed the ball last week, but not for me. Not 27 points. Definitely not. So those are my 4.
All right, JD, give us yours, and then I'll wrap it up for today's episode.
Yeah, first one, I guess I'm scared off a little here because I'm kind of fighting Roddy a little bit, and I am kind of fighting Goose a little bit. But I took the over in Oklahoma, Nebraska. I just think with the 2 offensive coordinators, Jeff Lebby and Mark Whipple, I just think I really like backing them because they both like to play at a high tempo and pass the ball. So I took the over there, and Nebraska's defense just looks pretty bad. I think they're going to get torched. I I took Georgia State -20 against Charlotte.
Yep.
Charlotte is bad. They've lost twice. They lost to an FCS school, and it looked bad at the time. I think it's aged even worse because FAU, they got blown out by FAU in the opener. FAU lost to Ohio after that. Pretty bad look. And then Georgia State has played some good teams, right? They played South Carolina. Who they played? They played
North Carolina last week.
They played North Carolina last week, kept it within 7. Before that, they played South Carolina, and they had 2 punts blocked, so I think it was worse. I think it's a good team. They're going to run all over Charlotte, blow them out. This one's ugly, so I had to play it because I've played against Iowa the first 2 weeks and had it tabbed correctly. So I'm just going to pick an Iowa game every week because it's going well. I'm actually backing Iowa this week, -23. They're playing Nevada. Nevada had, I think it was 9 staffers, along with Jay Norvell, leave for Colorado State. This is an entirely new program. They have some coach nobody's ever heard of who hasn't coached before. He's an administration guy. Nevada sucks. They're not going to score. So I was probably not going to score much either, but -23, give it to me. It's 24-0. Sure. I'm playing Kansas +9.5 against Houston. Simply put, a coach I hate and a coach I love. I don't trust Dana Holgorsen whatsoever. And I love Lance Leipold, and I'm getting almost 10 points. So give me that one. I did play Troy +13.5 against App State. I just think it's come down spot for App State, and Troy has a marvelous defense. They return 18 starters. I just think it'll be a low-scoring, close game, so I'll take the underdog there. I already mentioned the BYU +3.5 against Oregon play. And then 2 more. I have South Alabama +15.5 against UCLA. I just don't really trust Chip Kelly, and I think Kane Womack and the South Alabama team, they looked great. They blew out Central Michigan last week. They look pretty good, so I'm going to take them with 2 touchdowns. And last but not least, Colorado State, Washington State. I'm going to take the over 53. Both teams run the air raid, and they're both going to throw the ball a ton. And I think that the statistics for Washington State, while they haven't looked great, I think they're going to figure it out. I really trust in what they're doing, and everyone's down on them. I mean, it was their first time breaking in a new system, new quarterback. So what? They looked bad against Idaho, and they looked bad against Wisconsin. Who cares? It's Wisconsin, and they got the win, so they did what they had to do. So taking the over there. That's all I got. 7 plays, something like that. A lot of plays. Too many to count.
Love it. All right. Let me get through my plays. Oops. All right, Sam, you already got it for me. Perfect. Goose, you targeted a high total, and you only went the first half. Give me the Maryland SMU over 72.5 -110. Tie like the hot dogs for a reason. No defense. That was a potential hungry dog on today's slate. Roll back to all hear JD's analysis. I'm taking the Minnesota first half team total over 21.5 at -105. You can take them on the -17 for the first half as well. I think that they get it easy and done with early. I already gave out BYU, Oregon under 58 -110. Michigan, UConn first half over 34.5 -120. If you only have a 35 available, I like it. Michigan has yet to hit an over in their home games yet this season. That's usually a trend. They love to give the fans points. This one gets ugly. I think there's multiple defensive scores here as well. I think they put up 40 in the first half. They've already done it once this season. NC State, Texas Tech over 56 -110. This is the one where I could have a complete egg on my face because both of these defense have looked a little bit more competent, especially NC State's offense. This is the game where you got to show it to me. You got to cover this -10. That was calling my name, but the offense just hasn't looked comparable against a Big 12 defense. I think this is where they have a potential chance to shine. I think their defense can get exposed as well. Then the hungry dog. There was Miami. That was a potential one. North Texas, also a potential hungry dog there. Give me the bait. Roddy, get this team's papers ready if they don't get it ready. Vanderbilt money line -115. If you go into UNI and don't come through there with that rates without the top 100, it's been telling me the whole week, don't do it. It's a MAC team favorite against an SEC. Vandy's riding high. This offense looks defense. If they win this game, they clinched their team total already, or their win total, which was 2.5 on the season. Plus 115. Give me the doors. I'm ready to look. dumb when they
Rex,
get blown
meet
out by a
me if they lose this game. Meet me in Nashville after the game. We're doing a callback to week 1. Meet me in Nashville after the game if they lose to Northern Illinois. Because I swear to God, if y'all make the SEC, I'm not playing with y'all. My bad, Rex. Go ahead. I'm not playing with
No,
y'all.
you did it for me. There's a lot of other tempting spots out there on the board today, but that's the one I came up with. Do you guys believe in the trend? I use it for college basketball all the time. It really just sucked because it was Akron, but after the coach gets the extension midseason, fade him. Heupel got the extension this year. I think he got like 1 year added on. I mean, it was not much, but he gets like an extra mil each year. Akron plus 48.5 just wasn't enough for me. But college basketball, great trend to follow if you're still tapped in with us. Once the coach gets extended midseason, fade him the next game. Anything else we missed? I'm just rolling through the slate. JD, I'm glad you touched on the Iowa Nevada game. I think that's the lowest total of 39.5. Oh, here it is, JD. You bet on UTSA, correct?
Yeah, I bet them this week. I did against Texas.
That's the team where they could be potentially dead to me. They could be so dead to me after this week. They killed us. They had the highest win game expectancy and lost week 1. Last week against Army, if I was on the show, I 100% would have given out an Army ticket. Now you travel back to play Texas, 12.5. Texas after getting the Bama game. That's the one where I've gone both ways, convinced myself each way's a lock. I'm sitting that one out. That is the last thing I wanted to mention on today's week.
So what's the quarterback situation in Texas? Is Buddy?
They're playing
okay?
Card. They
Yeah.
said Card's playing. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
He's
One
injured
leg,
though.
maybe.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
he's
what I'm
had too
saying.
much. I don't. I'm kind of on JD's side here. I'd lean UTSA also. Just, I mean, too much time to actually think about having to start. It's not just like he's thrown in the moment and plays well.
Triple overtime loss at home against Houston. Go up to Army, get the shit beat out of you, and another.
Yeah.
Not you. They won, but just have to deal with the triple option all day, and then come back down to Austin for. Whew, if they cover, shout out meet. You might get my love back, but they've had them in Oregon State have had like the toughest starts to the season.
That game was brutal. I kind of just played UTSA blindly early in the week because Texas is like a double whammy letdown spot, and after Bama hangover, and the quarterback's hurt, and the backup quarterback's hobbled, and Bijan Robinson's hobbled. Like their whole team is just messed up. But like, yeah,
You fade
UTSA,
teams after they play
bad
Bama.
spot for them.
Yeah,
You do, but
And Georgia.
it's tough.
Yeah.
especially if they play well. Yeah.
No, it's just your line just gets destroyed. Everyone just comes back with injuries. You're just not up to that caliber. So it's been a profitable spot. Michigan used to be that way as well back then. But a little bit over an hour. We appreciate everyone tapped in with us. Give us that like, follow, retweet, subscribe. We gave out our best bet. So if you just tapped in late, you got us all just rattling them off. If you want the analysis, you got it. We appreciate everyone tapped in. Follow all 4 of them on Twitter. Sunday morning QBs tomorrow, Spaces tonight as well. We out.
Go Rutgers.